Since the dawn of Snap, Zoo Decks have existed. The origins, the glory days of Pool 1. Some just know of it as myth, others legend. As players progressed and entered Pool 2, the dark times came. And with it, Killmonger. Many have tried to master Zoo Decks, and many have failed. Until one day, one man from San Diego has got you covered. However, I'm here to tell you, Zoo Decks are back and they might be better than ever with loads of new one-cost cards, a brand new rework to Shanna, and this is all in a season full of Destroy, full of He Who Shall Not Be Named. I was able to get 5 Infinity tickets with today's deck. Now, I've been busy in the Snap kitchen. I've been cooking up a new homebrew for the Zoo archetype, and today I'm going to teach you everything you need to know, all the one-cost cards you'll want to play, and the little tips that I picked up along the way. Now, here's a look at today's deck, Zoo Control, and there's plenty of replacements for cards you may not have. We're going to start by looking at all of the key cards for the deck, the important Series 4 and 5 cards, and then all the one-cost cards in order of importance. Now, the core strategy of today's deck is simple, guys. We're going to have loads of one-cost cards. We're going to flood them onto locations, and then we're going to cheat some lanes and force our opponents to play where we want them. Now, obviously, you guys know about Tarzan. He's going to be in all the Zoo decks, gives all of our one-cost cards, +1 power, obviously essential. But let's talk about the cards that are going to help us cheat lanes, and that's the whole goal of Zoo Control. Now, obviously, Professor X, the master of cheating lanes, is going to be huge because we can just throw out all these one-cost cards, and we're going to have one of the lanes down most of the time to secure the lane. Now, on top of that, he also protects them from a late-game Killmonger, which is also really good and advantageous when paired up with other cards. And we're going to do all this early so that on turn 6, we can play Valkyrie. Now, Valkyrie is going to be awesome with one-cost cards because oftentimes we're getting value out of the 3 power. But on top of that, we have other cards that can synergize and give us a little bit of an extra bonus. Not only Ka-Zar or Ka-Zar, but obviously we have other options as well. And this is going to be a key play to have on turn 6. And then, of course, we have Armor, who's essential in the deck, right? We need to protect our one-cost cards. And so, obviously, we're going to want to do so and protect them from Destroy Season. That's very hot at the moment. Now, on top of that, we have Series 4 and 5 cards that are going to make the deck a lot better. And some of them are kind of core to the design. First of all, yes, we've got Jean Grey, a card that I'm going to constantly boost up in popularity. I think she's just being overlooked tremendously. Now, if you don't know by now, Jean Grey likes to have cheap cards played on her lane early. And we have a lot of cards that we can do that with so that we can play in other lanes and easily cheat out one of the lanes with Professor X. So Jean Grey, if you have her, just a perfect fit into this Zoo Control build. Now, the other card, the new and improved Shanna, I think works perfectly in this build. Yes, you're going to lose the 4/4, and you don't have the Zabru synergy. It's not the focus of today's deck. We're going to try to use her to get out these one-cost cards, right? We're locking our opponents in with Jean Grey. We can fill out our Jean Grey early, and then we can also use our best location with Professor X. Shanna works really well in this build. You don't have to have her as much as Jean Grey, but she definitely helps. And if you don't have her, you're going to want more one-cost cards or our other Series 4 and 5 cost card in Thanos. And when it comes to Papa Thanos, guys, we are going to be changing up the deck entirely. If you don't have Shanna or maybe some of these other cards and you do have Thanos, Thanos Zoo is definitely a very strong deck as well. We're going to be playing with Zoo Control today, but if you want to go the Thanos route, you'll be losing a couple of options, but you'll be able to gain more in turn, right? So you don't need Shanna because we're going to have Thanos and all of his stones, and you'll be able to have a bit more support like Blue Marvel and even Spectrum, but you do end up losing some kind of other cards that are going to synergize as a whole with both Jean Grey and then obviously Valkyrie. This is more of the probably Conquest version, but Zoo Control does just as good, and that was the one that I personally used and the one that we'll be showcasing today. Now, obviously, Zoo decks are full of one-cost cards, and in today's deck, we don't have all that many one-cost cards because we do have Shanna, but the ones we have are going to be incredibly important, and we're going to go through the level of importance depending on what you have. Now, Kitty Pryde is going to obviously be our most important. Number 1, we can dodge priority. We can build up our Angela. We have a cheap play into Jean Grey. She's just really good to have in this deck for a multitude of reasons. But even more so, we can play our Valkyrie on turn 6, followed by her, and that is most of the time going to be your win condition. Win the Pro X lane, and then you just do Valkyrie and her together, and it's pretty much game, set, match. Now, after her, the other cards are going to vary. Obviously, we have Nightcrawler, who is huge with Jean Grey. We can play him down and then move him out of the way. We can move him into a Professor X lane and then seal that off. He's got more than one reason to be in the deck and is probably the second most important card. Now, the next one, I don't think a lot of people are going to have her, but Echo. Guys, I tell you what, Echo fits perfectly in this deck. If you happen to have had her, this is going to be the best you've ever felt, and I think Echo is probably one of the MVPs of the deck. First of all, guys, Echo is awesome for sniping out things like Zabu, and other ongoing cards that are powerful. If you play her into Jean Grey's lane, it just screws them up. If they're playing an ongoing deck, they pretty much lose at that point. You can stop Nulls, Darkhawks, a lot of powerful cards like Iron Man, and you get to bonus her with Ka-Zar. So really strong synergy, and Echo is definitely one of those cards that can significantly make the deck better if you happen to have her. Now, other cards that are obviously pretty strong are things like Nebula if you don't have Echo. Obviously, forcing them to play into Jean Grey's lane. You play Nebula in a different lane, and then she can just build up naturally. Really good stuff, and then you can protect her with one of your other cards. The Hood, as you guys know, -3, not great, but having yourself a 1/7 is huge, especially to win a Professor X lane. Really easy to get this, and again, if you're missing some of these other cards, you can rely on the other option that is Bast. Having Bast with the Demon is so much value because you get both Hood and Demon together, spitting out value. Bast gets value, really good one-cost card. And then, of course, Demon can be played after Valkyrie as well, so you just have synergy on both cheat lanes. Ant-Man does work very good with Valkyrie and Jean Grey. Both of those are going to aim to have 4 cards in that location, and Ant-Man can go above that 3 power, so very advantageous. And then just Iceman, Sunspot, even Howard the Duck, all work for cheap options that can help aid you in the deck. Now, I'm not a mathematician, but when it comes to Shanna, the one-cost cards that you have access to are way better than you think. We have a lot more new cards that just naturally work. Obviously, getting things like Nebula is super clutch. The only really bad ones, Ebony Maw can be great if you save her for the end of the game. Other than that, he can be a bit tricky of an obstacle to kind of mess around with. But all these cards are pretty dang good. And for the most part, we're looking to play our Shanna a lot earlier than we were before. So she got better in that sense. Now, of course, I don't expect you guys to have every single card in the deck. So some other options that you can build into. Clearly, Cosmo is going to be another way to protect you from Killmonger. So this is a great option that you can play into your Jean Grey lane alongside Echo or independently. Goose, you're going to have pretty much all of your cards below a certain value, and having Goose and Jean Grey together can really work to your advantage. It can mess you up sometimes with Professor X and Valkyrie, so do be wary of that. Now, quickly, let's go ahead and talk about some tips that I learned while playing the deck. We got to start with Killmonger. Obviously, I expect the comments like, oh, the whole deck can be countered by Killmonger. Yes, but also no. Armor is here to help us. We have Professor X to help us. So we have a lot of things to take to our advantage. And it all depends when you play which cards. Sometimes you can play the Hood and you want the Killmonger to come out early. And if they play it too late, by that time, your cards should be protected, right? If you're playing Conquest, this is not a big deal. If you expect them to be having a Killmonger, you can just play around that. If it's in ladder and they're snapping right away, right, just leave that battle. So it just depends. You know, your opponent's not always going to have Killmonger, but a lot of players are having him as a late play, which with this deck is completely fine, right? We don't really care because we're protecting our cards to the fullest degree. So we have a lot of ways to avoid this, but yes, this would be our biggest enemy. If you're even more scared of him, maybe play something like Cosmo. And then other than that, guys, play the deck. That's how you can get good with it. It took me about maybe 10 to 15 games to really get the hang of it. And then you'd be surprised how damn good this deck is. You need to know who to armor, when to armor, Jean Grey, when to fill that up. Another big tip with that is just like have your Nightcrawler, have your Jeff, have a card that can move away from this lane. And then just fill it up early, right? Because then you can play on the other lanes. And then at the last turn of the game, you just simply move your Nightcrawler, play Valkyrie into this lane alongside something like Ant-Man. And that is how you steal so many wins. Because remember, you're trying to cheat the Pro X. If you've done that, all you have to do is Valkyrie. It's so much easier than you think. People just don't expect it. There was a lot of different ways that I was able to secure wins with this. Now, naturally, guys, when I put out a video, it declines a little bit. People are going to be doing a lot of Killmonger, looking out for this. So be wary of that. But I want to go ahead and jump into Conquest and show you guys how the deck is going to work, right? All the little things that you want to do. And I am going to take the Echo Edition in just to show you how crazy consistent it is overall. Now, this will be the deck of Zoo Control that I'll be taking in, albeit I totally get it. It is loads of S4, S5 cards. I want to showcase stuff that I don't think everybody has, though. That way you can see how the card performs. But again, guys, the Hood Ant-Man works really well. You don't have to play with Jeff, Nebula. Echo, you'll feel that the deck is a bit more consistent if you have her alongside Jean Grey. But yeah, this build works because we've got a lot of synergy with both Angela, Jean, Nebula in her own lane. I was playing a lot of Hood as well, but I feel like Nebula, you could play early and then just play the X on top of it. So it ends up working good. Oh, look, we're playing the Sofa King. Just the Sofa King. Dark Dimension first location, we'll leave that alone. I like Valk potentially for that left side, but we already have the armor now. And we got Deadpool. Typically when people play Deadpool, they don't always Carnage right off the rip. Maybe he does, but either way, I think we're going to just go with the double play here. Let's go with Nebula there, Kitty Pryde here. He's going to go with Bucky. And he's going to maintain the priority. So we could have done armor early. Sometimes that Carnage comes out, so I wanted to be careful. Either way, we're going to snap because we do have the double armor, which is going to be more than advantageous. And we get 2 Kitty Prydes. Only con here is the... he's so done. The Dream Dimension messing up our Pro X or Valk play, potentially. But we can always do double Valks, which is nasty. And or Echo. All right, so the thing is, he's going to have priority again. Kind of annoying. But if this goes mid, we're good to go. He's going to have a bad day if this goes mid. All right. I think the instant regret snap, man. Instant regret. You know he's feeling it. All right, so we can go Angela if we'd like to. I think, really, though, Kitty Pryde is just the obvious choice for now. And we can play Angela left side. I think that's fine. It's not going to be tough for us to get this win here. Now, we're not going to get a lot of draw, but dude, just getting all these Kitty Prydes is so filthy for this deck. I think I like the idea of playing just Ka-Zar here. We could build these up one more time, but I think the double here is filthy. And I'm not worried really about like a null or anything. The guy can't destroy, so even though this is Killmonger here, like our troops are protected either way. This going left would be better for us. All right, huge. Okay, he's killing his DAC, and it's just all bad for this guy at this point. This guy's probably just going to retreat. But since we go first, we're just going to load up the Kitty Prydes here, man. And, yeah, I don't know what he would have to beat this, because he hasn't killed enough stuff. So he'd have to have some massive... This can't be death over there. It's a pretty cheeky play, because that's going to copy to the middle lane, but that's 27 mid. Okay, so we got the dubs. Good stuff there. This was a wild first matchup. And I'll say this, Zoo can be kind of tough. He's going to double up here, but... well... He has 13 left side, so even though his Dawkin over there did pretty good. It can be tough to manage Zoo with Sinister London. There's a lot of locations to keep at hand, and you want to just make sure that you don't fill up too early. You don't fill up your hand too early with the Kitty Prydes. But that ended up working up really well, and you know, we didn't use all the cards down there. Pro X would have been great, obviously, with Sinister London. But yeah, man, this guy's out of there, and we already got our first W against the Sofa King. Don't demonetize me. And we head into battle 2. Okay, all right, here we go. We have deep space for the first location, which I think I'm okay with because we can Nightcrawler into that with Ka-Zar. Like the location so far. Daily Bugle second. Don't love that, but let's get the
This
intel.
just in.
All right, he has Brood. So yeah, not crazy about it. The Jean Grey Brood might be a little on the complicated side. I think we armor middle now. See what this guy decides to do, and if he has our Jean Grey. He's got our Nightcrawler. That's, I would say, pretty damn good. He is probably going to just Brood where we decide to play the Jean Grey, right? So somewhat tough. If he does Brood middle, though, either way, it's going to favor us, right? So we're going to snap. Because if he does Brood, our Nebula is going to build up. And if not, we already have a 2-card advantage here. So then it kind of limits him. If he plays Brood right side, he's even in more trouble. This is probably just going to be the Brood. No, it's the Maximus. He's going to give us cards? It's crazy, man. Okay. Well, at this point, really helps us out. This is where he does probably go with the Brood. And I think we go Angela into Echo here. Into Pro X. Is probably going to be our play line.
Friendly neighborhood Spider-Man here.
Okay. Well, that's awkward. So he's got, obviously, a Surfer deck. We'll have to watch out for that a little bit. Is the Pro X now a good idea? Well, we get this to 12. And we can Ka-Zar. Yeah, this is a bit on the risky side. Let's see what he decides to do here. This isn't going to be his Brood. Yeah, just his Goose. Okay, perfect. We kill that anyway. Hit the hand on it. All right, cool. I like it. Now he can't. Yeah, he's going to retreat, right? He can only play in dead space. And so it's all but over for him. We're going to go Ka-Zar here. Kitty Pryde. And then we just play Valk. So he's going to retreat this. This is cool. I wanted to go up against a Surfer deck to see how it did. I have not even the slightest clue why you would snap here, bud. Not even the slightest, because he can't boost up. It doesn't. You can't. Here we go again. The comment section. Cozy, I wish I got your opponent. Do I just film until I get someone not doing this? Deep space can be confusing, man, but woof. Okay, I don't mean to be mean. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Okay. Well, either way, then I think we just do this. Does he have Jeff potentially? It doesn't matter. I don't know, man. I don't know what the game plan is here. What he's playing to 8? Victory. Was this not enough of a? Did he just full commit because he had to? It's not a bot. Okay, well. Listen, it stinks too because, man, this Zoo deck is so good, but this is just not the battle. Not the battle to show. But I guess it is what it is. Yeah, I don't pick my opponents. Okay. Let's get Jeff out there now. Either way, I guess it still showcased a little bit of, like, the control mechanism. You have that to take away. It helped us with location and when to snap. So you do have that. But what in God's name is my man thinking here with that play? Monster Metropolis. Yeah, let's go. Let's go Angela. All right, so when you have a hand like this, this is a good example. We're going to go Angela here, right? And then next turn, we play Jean Grey. Playing Jean on your Jeff location is just like always an easy decision. Obviously, Goose is going to struggle here because we have so many cheap cards to begin with. But we force him to play where he doesn't want to, right? Obviously, Brood is going to help with this because he can fill it up somewhat quickly. But at this point, we can Pro X. We're going to have our lane filled up most likely sooner than he will. It's just all bad for this guy. It's all bad, guys. It's all bad. Okay, so let's go ahead and we actually want to play Echo here and not Kitty. because we want to be able to play our X on this right side. So little things to just to process here. Well, okay. I think that's awesome. I think we still want to. Yeah, I think we still X here. Because then we get the Angela stack, we have our Jeff, and then we can play Valkyrie right side. Most likely is probably the play. Keep in mind, he could have Killmonger. Although this looks like the greedier version of the deck. With Absorbing Man, he may not have the Nova Killmonger. He has the Nova. He's got the Killmonger. Okay. I'll be damned. I will be damned. Well... So even if he does Surfer here, we're going to be up. The most he can do is add 2. Yeah, man. It could be tough for us to beat this, though. I think he'll be up winning there, so I think we just say he's only going to play 2 cards. I think that's our play. It doesn't matter. It's only for the 2 cubes here, right? But oh, he's got the Brood pop off. What a cheeky man. All right. So he did get the 2, guys. He did get the 2. Should have thought of the Brood. Well, cool, man. We'll add some complexity into what was a very easy game. And but now we're going to play this kind of dodge the Killmonger. We're going to use the tools that we have to dodge what he's got, right? So we can kind of waste our Echo. Goose is the only thing that he has that is a big thing to fear. He could Killmonger this left side. So we kind of have to look out for that. We go with Jeff now. I'm pretty sure that if we play Jean Grey here, it really messes him up, right? Because, yeah, he has cards that are all around 2, but this would hurt him more. Okay. That's all right. We can Valk it if we get it. We got the Jean Grey. Let's play down our Angela, Kitty, Nightcrawler. And then I think we just Pro X. I think we just Pro X this middle lane here. And then he can't play anywhere. Because that would be the last time he can do something. Especially if we get Valk. Like, if he Juggernauts us here, it kind of sucks, but I think we're okay.
Opponent snapped.
All right, so maybe he does jug us.
Wind, aid my hand.
Yeah, I mean, he can build that up. But unless he plays into the vault right now, he's going to lose. Do we get Valk? Oh my god, it's so good. Okay. Wowzer, that's really good. So I think this is all we do. I think we add Nightcrawler here. Even though if he doesn't play into the vault, we add Nightcrawler here, right? Because now we take away priority. We kind of want him to have it. And then we just play Valk left side and Kitty Pryde and seal it. Okay, so we won that lane. He can only play 1 card left side. Dude, this is textbook, right? Can't play right side anymore. He doesn't have a Jeff. And even more so, we had Ka-Zar. Yeah, and we just do this right here. So, yeah, he knows it's done so. Done so, too. Overall, good stuff. I think this was a really cool match to show, outside the misplay, was a really cool match to show how this deck kind of operates to its fullest with the Pro X and the Valk. Good stuff. We ended up tying on that side, and there we go. Anyway, guys, cool deck. It's a lot of fun, hyper consistent. I played, man, I must have got carried away and played like, I don't know, 2 to 3 hours just in one sitting just last night. Played another couple hours this morning. It just feels good. All right, guys, battle number 3 here against Bulk Huster. Hey, yo. Definitely not Ultron with a Nimrod. All right, I have no clue what this guy's going for. If it's destroyed, that'll be fun. Alter death. Does he snap right away? That's how you know. Glove, Pro X, and armor on Alter death. I think that's pretty legit either way. We can go Angela now. I think we kill the Angela, believe it or not. I kind of want to just kill the Angela. Let's see what this pops down. If it's X, that can be tough, but we can still beat it. He goes Invisible Woman. So is it Ultron? Oh my god, it's a Hela deck. Let's snap right into that. Let's see how this does. Hela's a lot more consistent. Hela is a lot more consistent than it once was. I think we just secure this lane now, right? If he kills a card, it's fine. He ramps up, but then we just seal it off, and then we just win, like, Mojo World. If we get Valkyrie win. We have a lot of ways to win here. It's only turn 3. Well, turn of events. Not a big deal, because we can Jeff into that. But definitely different than what I thought was going to happen. All right, we have Jean Grey. We can force him to play everything right side, which I think is kind of fun. Although I do think Jean is probably better. And then we just win out over here, yeah? Yeah, what I think we do is we go Jean, and then we can play Jeff, Ka-Zar. Like, we just force him to keep playing mid, where I don't think he is going to want to play, necessarily. Although he plays his next card, and he gets the Jubilee off. Hold on. Goes Electro? What is this? Pandemonium. So he can only play one card at a time. Obviously, that's going to hurt him a bit. The Jeff is cool now, but I don't know if we need to play it. We can play Shanna now, too. We can just play Ka-Zar. I think that's fine. Because we can fill out this right side with just Shanna and Jeff. Like, this guy's got to play whatever he's playing here is the last thing he'll do in the middle. And we just have to beat that. All right, he's going to retreat.
Victory.
And we know what he's trying to do. He's got a ramp Hela deck, which can go tall. Although the Jean Grey is going to make this guy's life an absolute nightmare. Because we just play opposite of his Invisible Woman. And it can kind of hurt him.
Breaking news.
Oh my god, it's the Tribunal deck that we can echo. Hello? So he got our echo, which is fine. Subterranea Wolf? Although I think that helps us more. Because we have the Ka-Zar. Let's see if we can just get him to force retreat here. I think we just beat the Echo lane with straight power. I don't believe you. That's fine. Hey, Bullcuster. Bar Sinister. Good God. He's probably going to magic that, yeah. Do we jump into that now? Yeah, I don't... I suppose why not, right? God, I hope he doesn't magic that. Getting all the Jeffs now would be fantastic, and then we just Pro X whatever lane we want to win. I like the Echo left side here to match his Echo, A, and B, he is just going to hurt him. Like, if he Invisible Woman's this turn, it'll be tough. He plays nothing. So he's just got the big greed right now. Okay. We can do all these... Holy crap. We can do all these as Ka-Zars. All of them, if we wanted to. It's kind of spicy. We could just play Ka-Zar here. What to do, guys? What to do? Do we just go with Pryde? We can just do that. We can just Pryde Kitty. Yeah, let's maybe just do this. Build it up with the Ka-Zar later on. I'm thinking I'm going to move everything into the middle. And then Pro X the middle lane. Okay. We could Pro X Bar Sinister. Do we think that would help us out more or less? And I kind of like it because we can move this mid, right? We nail this now. We have priority, so we stop him from cloning it. And then we can move the Jeffs depending on how much we just won that by. Or he doesn't play anything at all. And we have Valkyrie. Holy crap. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I think we just go Ka-Zar, Valk into Kitty Pryde. He doesn't believe us, but he's probably going to retreat. Okay. It's a big card. It would be just a shame if someone did that. Let's go ahead and... Do we even want to move this? I don't think we need to. All right, I don't think this guy thinks this is about to hit him. He has to play Tribunal in the middle because we would then just echo him. We're going to win with Valk left side. This is going to be the cleanest sweep ever because we got the Daily Bugle there, and it's about to... Reality's about to hit him. He still doesn't believe us for what it's worth. Alrighty, well, that was fun. So Echo, that was a good use of showing how Echo can kind of control where they have to place cards, which I think is a fun aspect of her. And then you play that counter to where you play Armor, Valkyrie, Angela, those kind of cards, right? To try to secure that W. Round 3. And we have Grand Central. With already having Armor in our starting hand. Don't hate it. Deep Space is going to hurt him a good amount, man. A good amount. Let's go Angela now, probably. Angela's not bad here either. Let's go Angela here. Probably force him to play into that with Jean Grey. And then we have Mirror Dimension. Oh, boy. Okay, so we kind of want to play... I think we do this, right? Because we play Jean Grey. He's got to play his cards right side. If it's Deep Space... It's bad news, whereas we can boost up our Nightcrawler and things like that if we have to. Now, he does have, like, big cards to play where we don't. But I think it's going to throw off his strategy. And then we can always Pro X as well. Okay, he goes Electro. He's got to play right side. It is Deep Space. So, that actually helps him a lot. He can... He just has bonus energy now for what it's worth. That's okay though, because we're gonna just Pro X the left side and win. All right, we got the magic play. Yeah, let's go to Pro X into this now. Yeah. Pro X now, forcing to play in these other lanes. I don't even think we need to worry about where our Nightcrawler is. And then we're just playing for points now, I guess, right? We can move the Jeff if we need to. All right, we get the X down. He plays 2 cards, though. Oh, so we won't know if we can move our Jeff. That's spicy. Now it's just pure power. I think what we do is we spread him. We spread the love here a little bit, right? He's got to move to these. We can always move Jeff, too. Oh, it goes Tribunal. Hello? But the Tribunal is just a dead card. Alrighty, we throw them all down. I don't know if he has more than that power. We'll have to see, man. We're going to have to see. This could just be only 8, baby. We just win off principle. He did, however, get that left side, and I don't think there's anything that would help him here. Yeah, Onslaught. Nice. All right, cool. Victory. Got the W. Gets a weird Living Tribunal Hella deck, but that was a lot of fun. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. We secured yet another Infinity ticket. If you guys haven't already, go ahead and subscribe down below and be on the lookout for a couple other juicy deck guides to follow this. I have some fun decks we're cooking up. Anyway, guys, let me know if you have any questions on Zoo, and until the next one, happy snapping.